Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. Heading into a new month, we'll have a new area of focus, and the focus will be less on the form we take in terms of our asana shapes, what we do with our body in terms of making particular shapes, and more on how are we utilizing our breath to move through our practice. And when I say move through our practice, I mean, let's practice it here on the mat as we move through these physical forms, but also my hope is that you take this with you into your daily life, sitting in your car, walking your dog, sitting at your desk, sleeping, going through the motions of your daily rhythms of life. And so to begin, you can take a comfortable seat, you can lay down on your back. The purpose of the first few minutes of class will be to drop in and notice our breath, to become aware of our breath. And so I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to think a lot less about what it looks like. And can you relax in your spine? If you're sitting up tall, can your spine be relatively at ease? And if you want to think a little bit about form in this way, shoulders stacked over hips, ears stacked over shoulders, so the spine is nice and tall, but not to the extent that we're straining our hips and our knees to do this. So please do find a comfortable seat or lay down on your back. And then once you're there, you can close your eyes if that feels good. And just find some stillness. Before you drop into that stillness, feel free to make any adjustments in your body. And then see if, instead of forcing yourself into stillness, can you find that stillness with a sense of ease? It's not always easy to do, so be gentle with yourself, be kind. And then start to notice your breath. You might notice if you have a tendency to breathe in and out through the mouth. You might notice if you have a tendency to breathe in and out through the nose. And we're just noticing these things without judgment. Can you invite a sense of curiosity? Maybe even think to yourself, or you could say it out loud, that's interesting. So invite the judge to take a back seat today. And let's explore our breath as we move through our asana, as we move through the physical forms of our yoga practice. And you start to take the air in and out through the nose. You find a sense of length on your inhale and a sense of relaxation, letting go on your exhale. A few more moments here in stillness in our first shape. And then from wherever you are, you can start to make your way into tabletop shape. So if you're on your back, you can roll off to the side and come over to hands and knees. If you're in a seated position, you want to move some props out of the way, stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Press down through the tops of your feet so your toenails are on your mat. Press down through your finger pads so the palm of the hand is flat. Press the floor away. For this first round, let's round the upper back, tuck the chin in, tuck the tailbone under, press the floor away, get nice and spacious through the back body. Can you take a breath in here? And then breath out, draw the belly and the chest down. Lift the tailbone up, maybe open the throat a little bit. And then press the floor away around the upper back. And then let the belly drop, pull the chest forward, and start to move in and out of these shapes with your breath. Noticing how the spine feels. And so I'll invite you to come back to your breath over and over again throughout your practice today, but really and truly, and you've heard me say this many, many times before, can you let your breath guide your movement? Let your movement follow your breath. Okay, so we're gonna add on to our cat-cow shape by sinking the hips back towards the heels, extending the arms forward. Find child's pose for a moment. Take a pause here, breathe in, breathe out. And then on your next inhale, pull your body forward back towards that tabletop. Let the belly drop, let the chest lift, tailbone lifts. And then exhale, press the floor away, round the upper back, all the way back towards that child's pose. So it's like a cat that moves into child's pose. So really full range of motion through the spine. Inhale, pull the body forward through that tabletop, let the belly draw it down, heart lift. Press the floor away, round the upper back, sink the hips back towards the heels. Keep that round in the back as you come back towards child's pose. Let's try that 3 more times. And if you'd like to add on a little bit more of a back bend, you can sink the hips forward and down when you come forward into your inhale, kind of like a upward facing dog with the knees down. And don't forget to include that cat shape when you sink the hips back. So round that body, round that back body, and then sink the hips to the heels for that child's pose. Twice more. Inhale to come forward, find a back bend that works for you. Exhale to round the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, child's pose. One more time, all the way through, on your own. Next, inhale, breath comes forward to tabletop. Let's set up the hands for downward facing dog. So take a peek at your hands. Really grip through the mat with the fingertips. Spread your fingers wide. You can get your whole palm flat and get a little bit of the weight more forward into your knuckles and less weight on the wrists. As you do that, tuck your toes under, press into your flat palm, lift and hover your knees. Take a big full breath in here. And then on your breath out, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Relax your head here. Feel free to adjust the distance between the hands and the feet. Lengthen out through the spine. And maybe add a little movement, bending the knees right and left. A couple breaths here in our first downward facing dog. So we keep our vinyasa flow pretty traditional today in terms of the shapes that we make because I really want us to focus on and prioritize the breath moving the body. Let's take one more full breath in our downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, shift forward, find a high plank. Pause as you settle into your high plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Set your knees down. Come all the way onto the belly. Untuck your toes. Come to the tops of your feet. Walk your hands back towards your lower ribs. Tuck your chin. Rest your forehead on the mat. Let's set up the legs. So press down through the tops of the feet. Engage your quadriceps. Lift your kneecaps. Press the floor with the hands. And then on your inhale, lift the chest, lift the head, keep the shoulders drawing down the back, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Exhale, release. Twice more like that. Press the floor away, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to release. Now here, forehead touches the mat, tuck the toes under. Recommit to pressing down through your palm. Engage the quadriceps until they lift off of the mat. Toes are tucked. Press down really tight through the body. Maybe press right up to a high plank and then up and back to downward facing dog. Know that you can modify your practice at any point in time. You can always take a knee. You can always come back to child's pose, or in place of like a chaturanga, up dog, down dog, you can take cat and cow. Focus and prioritize on your breath today. Let's take one more breath here in downward facing dog, if that's where you're at with me. And then we'll lift our heels, bend our knees, and start to walk our way forward to the top of the mat. Hang out for a moment in your forward fold Uttanasana. You can ragdoll your upper body over your legs. You can softly bend through the knees. If you want to add a bind with the arms, feel free to do so. Lengthen out through the back of the neck. Let the head be heavy. Let's take one more breath here. If you have a bind with the arms, release that. Walk your fingertips towards your shins. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Find a nice flat back, a nice strong core here. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now this time, really press down through the feet. Resist the floor away. Extend your arms forward and come all the way to standing at the top of the mat, reaching the arms up and overhead. Deep breath in here. And then exhale, we'll fold right back into our forward fold. Another inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back to high plank. Pause in your high plank. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's lower all the way onto the belly with or without the knees. Keep your elbows hugging in close to the rib cage. Untuck your toes, press the floor away. Inhale for low cobra or maybe medium cobra. Maybe the arms move a little bit more towards straight. Exhale, release out of that. Coming all the way back to the mat. Forehead touches, tuck the toes under. Recommit to the palms pressing down, squeezing the triceps in. Get nice and tight through the whole body, include the core. Press up to that high plank or supported plank. And then up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths in our downward facing dog. Settle in, breathe. Notice the breath. Can you breathe in and out through your nose? Does it feel hard? Does it feel scary? Is it causing anxiety? It's okay to breathe through the mouth if you need to, but see if you can start to get used to coming back to breathing in and out through the nose. Let's lift the heels, a little bend in the knees. Begin to walk the way forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, fingertips to shins, integrity through the spine, nice strong core, nice strong back. Exhale, forward fold. Now really press into your feet to resist the floor away. Extend your arms forward, come all the way up to standing, arms reaching overhead. Deep breath in here. Exhale, we fold right back in, Uttanasana. Inhale to your halfway lift, that's Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant those palms, step back to high plank. Full breath here, inhale. Exhale. And then if you like, you can move through chaturanga if that's in your practice. Another round of low cobra, always welcome. Or again, there's that alternative of cat cow. We'll meet back in our downward facing dog or child's pose if you need that break. 3 breath cycles. Can you notice your breath? Can you try breathing in and out through your nose? How does that feel? One more breath here. From your downward facing dog, lift your heels, a little bend in those knees. Begin to walk your way forward, top of the mat. Pause in your forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Root down through those feet. Press the floor away as you extend your arms forward, come all the way up to standing. And then exhale right back into your forward fold. We're gonna add on here, Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Step back with your right foot. Come into a low lunge, right knee to the mat. Sweep your arms forward and up. And then just pause here in your low lunge. Arms extended overhead, so really expansive across the rib cage and the lungs. Deep breath into the belly. And then deep breath out, hands down, frame out that left foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Pause here, breathe in. Can you breathe in through the nose? Breathe out. Can you breathe out through the nose? In your downward facing dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands, left knee lowers to the mat. Press the floor away with the feet. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Big expansion across the rib cage. Breathe into the lungs. Deep breath into the belly. And then exhale, hands frame out that front foot. We're gonna step forward, left foot meets the right foot at the top of your mat. Inhale here, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, extend your arms forward. Let's come all the way up to standing. And then we'll do the second side with the left leg leading. We'll exhale into our forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, just the fingertips come down, left foot steps back. This round, you can take a knee down, left knee can come down, or you can leave it lifted, pressing the floor away with the feet, so low or high lunge, your choice. Again, focusing on the breath into the belly, into the rib cage, into the lungs. Big, expansive breath in. And then exhale, we'll plant the palms, step that right foot back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Can you get your breath moving in and out through the nose? And then we'll inhale. In our down dog, we'll lift that left leg up and back. Just give it a little stretch. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands, right knee. It can lower or it can remain lifted, high or low lunge, sweeping the arms forward and up. Pause here for a moment, focus and prioritize the breath into the belly, into the rib cage, into the lungs. And then hands sweep forward and down. The right foot meets the left foot at the top of your mat. Inhaling into your halfway lift. Exhaling to your forward fold. Press down into your feet, extend your arms forward, come all the way up to standing. Exhale your hands to your heart this time. Let's take a moment here, pausing at the top of the mat. Option to close the eyes, really root down through the feet, tuck your tailbone under, slightly lift your front hip points to your lower front rib cage. Shoulders stack on top of the hips. Inhale, grow tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, settle into your feet. One round of Surya Namaskar B. So this is our round with Warrior One and our chair pose. So right now we're going to take our feet, maybe take them about hip width distance apart, bend the knees, sink the hips. See if you can keep a nice straight spine. Whatever you want to do with your arms here, you can take the hands to prayer position at the heart, you can extend the arms forward alongside the ears, or you can keep them about the height of the shoulders. See if you can sit a little bit deeper into your chair pose, shift a little bit more weight back into the heels, maybe even wiggle the toes. Let's take one big breath in here. And then on your breath out, forward fold, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands. Option to take it back through high plank, chaturanga up dog, or you know your other options. You can lower through cat and cow. You can just take a pause, skip it all together, child's pose, or just hold in down dog if you like. When you're ready, meeting up in downward facing dog. I'm going to add on our Warrior One
with the right foot forward. So right foot steps forward, warrior one, spin that left foot flat, the back of your mat. Keep that bend in your right knee as you sweep your arms forward and up. Prioritize that breath down into the rib cage, down into the lungs, down into the belly as you inhale here. Settle into your feet as you exhale. And then hands come down to the top of the mat, frame out the right foot, step back, high plank, option to move through a vinyasa flow. That chaturanga, up dog, that cow, all of that counts as a vinyasa flow. When you're ready for the second side, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a beat there, breathe in. Notice that breath, can you get it in and out through the nose? Your next inhale, stepping the left foot forward between the hands. Warrior one, second side, spin that right foot flat. Keep the bend in the left knee as you press into the feet, sweep the arms forward and up. So with the rib cage open, the belly expansive, breathe into the lungs. Nice deep breath in here, keep pressing the floor away. Hands sweep down to the top of the mat, frame out that left foot. Step back, high plank. Option to move through chaturanga, up dog. Knees down, cat-cow through tabletop, or skipping it all together in child's pose. We'll finish up our round of Surya Namaskar B by meeting in downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. Notice the breath. As you settle back into stillness, if you've been breathing in through the nose or out through the mouth or some combination of nasal and mouth breathing, can you start to slow it down and breathe in and out through the nose? Just experiment with that for a little bit. Take one more breath in your downward facing dog. Lifting the heels, a little bend in those knees, stepping or hopping forward if you like. Top of the mat, find that inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. One more time, chair pose, bending the knees, sinking the hips. Lift the chest, elongate through the spine, and find a place to purposefully add on arms. Again, that might mean arms alongside the ears, hands can be at the heart, arms can be about shoulder height, but purposely choose something. So you sink the hips a little bit lower, weight shifts back into the heels, a little bit of wiggle through those toes, just check out where the weight's in the feet. Take one more breath in here. Press into the feet, stand tall, reach overhead. Exhale your hands to your heart. Pause here for a moment if you like. Close your eyes. Reconnect to your breath. And we're going to make an option to move through one final vinyasa. We're going to meet down on the floor in a child's pose. Take your time getting there. If you like that vinyasa, I'll lead you through it. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhaling, planting the hands. That vinyasa flow can be that chaturanga up dog. And of course, it can be tabletop to cat-cow. If you want one more downward facing dog from here, feel free to take it. Otherwise, join me in child's pose. In your child's pose, lungs are nice and open, rib cage is expanding, belly can relax, maybe in between the thighs if you have your knees wide. Can you get your breath moving in and out through the nose? Two breath cycles here.
from your child's pose, option to shift forward tabletop. Right knee slides forward towards right wrist. You can angle that right ankle across the mat towards the left and wiggle that left leg back towards a lengthened position for a half pigeon here. If half pigeon doesn't work for your knees or your hips or your ankles for whatever reason, flipping over onto your back and taking a figure four with that right ankle on top of the left knee is a great option. If you're with me in this half pigeon, before you sink down into it and kind of luxuriate in how good it feels to just relax in the pigeon for some folks, and some folks not always, can you press the floor away, get nice and long and big and broad across the chest, breathe into those lungs, breathe into the belly. So can you get a little bit more active in your pigeon first? And same thing with the legs. Can you press the floor away with the legs? Take one more breath here, get nice and tall. And then maybe sink the hips a little bit lower. Let the belly lay across the front shin. You can stack your hands underneath your forehead or any variation. You can slide props underneath the body. If there's a lot of space between that right hip and the floor, you can slide a block, folded blanket, throw a pillow under there. If you're taking figure four on your back, you might have done this already, but you can pull that figure four into the chest. You can interlace your hands behind that left thigh. Do your best to keep that spine nice and long, throat soft, back of the neck lengthened. Let's take 3 breath cycles, wherever we are, whatever the shape looks like. 3 breath cycles. Maybe it's in and out through the nose. Can you prioritize breathing in and out through the nose? And we're just going to switch sides here. So gentle on your exits, especially if you're coming from that half pigeon, tends to be pretty intense. If you want to take something in between sides, like maybe from tabletop, you extend that right leg back, tuck the toes under, and just press back through the sole of the right foot, fall onto the right foot. You can also take that in down dog and, extend that right leg up and back. Either way, when you're ready, switching sides, left knee forward towards that left wrist, angling the left foot off towards the right side of the mat, and then lengthening the right leg back behind you for your half pigeon on your left side. Stay with me here for a moment. Can we press the floor away with our fingertips, get nice and tall and broad across the chest, breathe into the belly, breathe into the rib cage. Press the floor away with the feet, so left shin, outer ankle of left leg, top of right foot, actively pressing the floor away here. Figure four on your back, doing your best to just breathe as you cross that left ankle on top of right knee. Breathing in and out through the nose. If you want to come forward into that fold in your half pigeon, you can start to crawl forward over that left shin, add your props as needed, and settle into your stillness. Settle into breathing in and out through your nose. Three deep belly breaths here. Breathing into the belly by way of taking the air in and out through the nose. If we're in that half pigeon, time to release. Pressing the floor away, lifting the chest, maybe extending that left leg back behind you in that half tabletop. Or you can always take that downward facing dog with the left leg reaching up and back, your choice. If you're on figure four on your back, our next shape is Shavasana, so you're that much closer to it. you're coming from your pigeon, just making your way onto your back body. If that's how you'd like to take your Shavasana. You could hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. Feel free to take happy baby or any other shapes. When you're ready to lengthen out on your back, when you're ready to find that last minute of stillness, and I do recommend giving yourself this last minute at least of stillness. To focus on the breath, relax the shoulders down the back, slightly tilt the chin in towards the chest. Find a comfortable position to rest the arms. Maybe close the eyes. Soften your jaw. Let the air come in and out through the nose. If you have more time to spare today, please feel free to stay in Shavasana longer. If you need to move on, begin to awaken. Add gentle movement. When you're ready for your transition, rolling off to a side, pressing your way to an upright seat. Support your seat with something, whether that be a chair or cushion. You're sitting up nice and tall, option to close the eyes here. Let's just focus on nasal breathing for about 4 breath cycles. Start to get the air moving in and out through the nose. Close our practice by bringing the hands together at the heart, bowing the chin into the chest. Taking a moment here to offer reverence and gratitude for your practice. May you use the fruits of this practice to serve your highest good. Share it with those around you that you love and who could use healing. Send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world. May they be happy, may they be free. Namaste, yogis. Thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Always love to hear from you. And I hope to have you back in class again soon. Bye.